And the House has before it Senate Concurrent Resolution 4017, which has been read. Mr. Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, engrossed Senate Concurrent Resolution 4017, introduced by Senator City and other House and Senate sponsors. Engrossed Senate Concurrent Resolution 4017 is a concurrent resolution relating to the Obama administration's proposal that the Senate of the United States consider the adoption of the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty. Mr. Speaker, your Government and Veterans Affairs Committee recommends due pass on engrossed Senate Bill Resolution 4017 by a vote of 10 yeas, 4 nays, 0 absent, and 0 not voting. Mr. Speaker.
Representative Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of the Assembly, your Committee on Government and Veterans Affairs recommends a due pass with the vote of 10-4 on Senate Concurrent Resolution 4017. The Senate Concurrent Resolution's intention is to oppose the current form of the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty. The treaty would allow for the expansion of federal firearms controls on the transportation of arms across national territory. It would also require maintaining records and force the United States to take measures that would infringe on the individual right to keep and bear arms. The resolution further states there is opposition to any other treaties that is against the individual or collective right to keep and bear arms. The Government and Veterans Affairs Committee, on a vote of 10-4, asks the Assembly for a due pass. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any discussion? Representative Onstad.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the bill carrier yield to a question, please?
Representative Doctor, would you yield to a question?
Mr. Speaker, yes, I will.
Representative Onstad.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Doctor, you mentioned of being against this United Nations Trade Arms Agreement. Do you know what other countries that are opposing it?
Representative Doctor.
Mr. Speaker and Representative Onstad, I believe there's some development today that North Korea, Iran, and I believe Syria are 3 other countries that opposed it today.
Mr. Speaker, may I continue?
You may continue.
That's correct. By adopting this legislation, we're going to join with those same countries to oppose this particular arms treaty. And then the second fact is it leads into it. We're talking about the Second Amendment and protection of that. The American Bar Association disputes the NRA's position that ratification of the treaty would not infringe upon rights guaranteed by the Second Amendment. Also, the UN office says that it will not interfere with any domestic arms commerce or the right to bear arms in member states. So, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the Assembly, is there really a purpose why we need to defend this? If we're looking to defend the Second Amendment, there's several agencies that are saying they are protected that way. And if we want to join forces with Iran and Syria and North Korea to oppose it, I think I would better oppose this particular resolution, and I hope everybody else will do so as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there further discussion? Representative Striley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Assembly, there was 23 that abstained in the United States Senate, also passed a resolution not endorsing this, the arms treaty. So this isn't just 3 countries. This is United States Senate as well.
Is there further discussion? Representative Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the Assembly. There's a perfect reason to support this resolution. It's called the Constitution of the United States. Here it is. Bet you guys are wondering when I was going to talk about the Constitution again. Mr. Speaker, members of the Assembly, the United Nations since 1978 has been trying to exert its power and influence on their member nations to take away our sovereign rights, including the United States. This resolution simply declares the sovereignty of the United States and tells the United Nations to stay out of our business. We are a sovereign nation governed by the Constitution of the United States. It's an important resolution to support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the House has before it for final consideration Senate Concurrent Resolution 4017. The clerk will open the key and you may record your vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Key will be closed. The clerk will take the record. The final vote shows 68 yea, 25 nay, 1 absent, not voting. Senate concurrent resolution 4017 is declared passed.